presentation is going to focus on that. I want to get people thinking about the levers that drive change. And therefore, because these levers have a multiplier effect. So our role as academicians is to get people to think about what will drive change, what will, with a little bit of effort, what will bring about more substantive change, rather than on the incremental aspects that can be implemented, you know. So it is with, and I want to see how these levers can actually drive the transformation. For us, we have no time for incremental change. We have to go for the transformational aspects of this Digital India Smart City initiative. So it is with that perspective that my presentation is focused on that, and I hope it's okay with you. So where should I point this? Okay. So here a little bit of fun. We have been very seriously talking. So here are these people who have given their credit card to the smart meter, and the smart meter has nicely bought things from their credit card for itself. Okay. And of course, they are very concerned. And the other part is the security aspect that we've all been talking of, and how it is impacting citizens, because people are concerned that now my data is, you know, with the police, with everybody, with every administrative authority in the city, and how's it helping me? Okay, so let's go back to the more serious stuff. We must have seen some version of this slide somewhere, and therefore I'll not dwell on it. But, you know, smart cities, the definition talks that, okay, so first of all, why are we focusing on cities? Obviously, the greater, you know, role of urbanization, and more than 50% or more than 70% of the populations in coming years are going to be resident in cities. Cities are the drivers of economic change and economic activity. But more important, the focus has to be on smart cities. Okay? And when we talk of smart cities, obviously the definition that the government has come out with doesn't necessarily talk only of technology, it talks of a broader plan. But I'm going to focus on the technology part, because for the simple reason that, yeah, for some reason I'm seeing that, you know, a mirror image, and okay, but okay, all right, so I'm, for me it's not a place marker. Anyway, so the point that I wanted to make was, then can I have this? Of technology in the context of smart cities, we all know what we mean by smart cities. This is a very educated audience. So what we want is, one aspect is how these IT systems will help in active collaboration amongst the city stakeholders, and including citizens. And by this nature of interactions, we are going to change the nature of the relationship between the city and the administrative authorities. And this is going to bring about a very fundamental change. And how are we going to actually leverage these benefits is something that I would like to talk about. So are we okay with this? So we are looking at a strategic framework as how cities can really be smart. So many cities are already involved in providing citizen services electronically, but we are still chained to a geographical location. That means I must go somewhere and then make payments on a particular device, maybe a PC, maybe some cities do have apps, but very few and very disaggregated. I can't do all my services using an app. Very few I can do. And those apps do not work usually in a local language. They are mostly English oriented and so on, and work on smartphones which have high capabilities. So we're really talking of a very small portion of the citizens who can have access to this. And the Smart City Initiative talks of SPVs that will drive this change, special purpose vehicles. But whatever be the vehicle, whether it is the municipalities or it is the SPV, what is required for a strategic plan? One, focus on infrastructure. And here I mean not only the ICT infrastructure, but the general infrastructure. Second layer, what will run on this infrastructure is applications. And third layer, what is the data? The data that these applications will generate. And the fourth is the institutional infrastructure that is required for the smart cities. When I talk of infrastructure, see, many of our cities are still under-infrastructurized. We are still building roads, bridges, flyovers, whatever you have. There's a lot of construction going on. How can I use this existing infrastructure to give the ICT infrastructure? For example, can I mandate optical fibers have to be laid along any upgradation or any new construction in the city? Okay. The government has a plan called BharatNet for connecting rural India, but does it have a plan for the cities? At least I'm not aware. Okay? And this means that we are letting go of a very critical opportunity to provide the infrastructure that is critical for a smart city. Of course, people in the city say, well, you don't need so much fiber optics because you can be wirelessly connected. There is the telecom companies have provided you wireless connectivity. But I find, living in Ahmedabad, which is also supposed to be one of the smart city things, I have a 3G and a 4G connection, but most times the speed is like 2G. And I die many deaths every day waiting for that circle to complete. So can city administration now mandate, make it a rule, make it a law, that every infrastructure should have pipes of specific thickness? I just found out in Ahmedabad, we are redoing our infrastructure because we lost some of it in the earthquake, and now we are revamping. And my IT manager came and told me that the pipes that the designer had put would only allow 1 Gbps pipe thickness to go through that pipe. It was so thin. And I said, 1 Gbps for dorms, for students, 40 of them or 50 of them? What are we saying? We need at least 100 Gbps, and we are talking, or maybe more, I don't know, but at least 100 Gbps. Now, we have to redo everything because the pipe won't allow that cable to go. So can we over-provision the thickness of the pipe? It costs so little, but redoing it is going to be a great cost. So we need to think through what should be those specifications. And this infrastructure, actually innovative financing can take care of it. Okay, we need to think through this. Can I finance it through bidding to content and application developers? Because this is a very good platform for them. Okay? And including government use. Okay? So government can also be one of the participants in this. In-building solutions and wireless solutions, of course, have to be thought of because pipes or fiber optic cable cannot reach the last mile. So I come to the second part, applications. You know, now the point about these cities is that we have created this competition. Every city is trying to be smarter or the smartest city, which is good. You know, this feeling of competition, the best comes out and so on. But what is also happening is we are forgetting that there are common structures for databases, common elements, common objects. And why can't we think of what is called a service-oriented architecture at the national level, not at the city level? Now so what we call in management literature, not competition, but a mixture of collaboration and competition called cooperation. So can cities start looking at that? So even across departments, say your sewerage department and electricity department don't have access to the same GIS maps. One department may have access to one map or one kind of map or one version of a map, the other one doesn't have access to it. So can I have, as a smart city designer or architecture or the IT architecture, a common specification of what is the level of map, resolution, what should it depict? And we were talking of the satellite initiative for India, that it would help in GPS and so on. Can we link up the two? I think the synergies come when you link up two initiatives. And while I'm very happy that as an Indian citizen that the ISRO satellites are going to really help with the GPS thing, I think the very critical part is that while they have the technical capability, the value that Google Maps gives me is not because of the layout of the streets and all, but it tells me what services are there on that street, how many restaurants, what is a hotel. And I think that is where the Indian part has to come in. Google has done it for us. I mean, why couldn't, I don't know whether we have any service that can map all this to the information that the ISRO satellites will give us. Since these applications are common across cities, can we have a repertoire? Can we have a place where every city administrator can go and see what has Pune done for public distribution system? Can I just take those applications as they are, because basically it is the same set of processes, and then deploy it? In e-governance, we did not do it. Every state went and did its own bhumis and own e-sevas. Yeah, so why did we do that? Of course, IT, hardware and software companies will not be happy. But initially, because if it's a common reusable code, you don't get opportunities. But believe me, these synergies that we will derive, that means these projects will take off faster, and there are greater benefits for IT, hardware and software companies. And it's a national initiative, so given that, I hope they will come around. Absolutely, consulting firms. Now I hear, I didn't make that point because, anyway, now I hear saying that, I'm on this Chandigarh project. Oh, I'm on the Pune project, as a consulting firm. And I am like, can we at least have these consultants talking to each other? Yeah, of course, it's not in their business interest, yeah. Okay, the third aspect is data. So we've looked at infrastructure, we've looked at applications, let's now look at data. Smart initiatives at the city level is good, but how do I enable my citizens to be smart? That is the whole objective. And they can be smart if they have access to data. Now, government has come out with open data initiative. I'm sure many of you are aware of it. Has anyone gone to the site opendata.gov.in? What do you find? Nothing which is of value that you want to download, right? And even when you want to download, it's in a PDF file and the version, the data is like 2012. Why do you want a 2012 data? For a long time. And in fact, I've been going to the Ahmedabad, ahmedabadcity.gov.in, and we are one of the smart cities or smartest cities because we come from the Prime Minister's erstwhile constituency. And the only thing is two sites, the BRTS site and one more site, I don't remember. The BRTS site, I said, oh, this is good because it will help people. But what it wants is a starting location and the bus number. Now, if I'm a citizen who wants to use the BRTS to go from place A to place B, I don't a priori know the bus number. But if I don't input the bus number, it doesn't tell me where to go. So see, it is designed from the perspective of the department because people in the department know. But, they are not alone. The IRCTC, the Indian Railways were equally good at it. So, for example, if I wanted to book a ticket from Delhi to Lucknow, and Lucknow had 5 stations, say Lucknow Cant, Lucknow City, and something close by, I'm supposed to know prior where this train will terminate. Okay, if I didn't know it, it will say no such train exists. Okay, and these are, because the department people in Indian Railways obviously are, they live this knowledge every day, but citizens don't, and we never get a citizen audit done. So can we at least have some minimum data requirements that all smart cities must make data about the services, about whatever the citizens consume, or what is of value to them available in particular formats, whatever we decide. Local language. All these sites were in English. Gujarati, maybe you can go to a version in Gujarati. And I've put caps for totally intended because I was very hurt. How can people, look at this? URLs. Today we have local language URLs are possible. Okay, the domain name can be in your local, the URL can be in your local language. Most of us don't know about it because DITY has worked. But with this aspect, they're working, we have got it now in 16 languages and all. But where is it there on the website? Responsive sites. They're not designed for mobiles. Very few apps which you can download. And even when you can download apps, how useful are they? So now, this is what I've just taken from a app site. If a person wants to report a pothole or a traffic violation, all he or she is to do is to take a picture and upload it on the app. This data will go to the server and go to the attention of the right person to rectify that particular issue. Any problem with this? So nice, right? What happens if this could solve our potholes problem? I'm sure all citizens would be taking photographs day in 24/7 and uploading in the hope that the roads will become better. So that brings me, where is the institutional infrastructure? Okay. And this institutional infrastructure relates to service delivery. How do we make this service delivered? How can this service be delivered to the citizens? I am very technological savvy person, and as are most people in this. But I can assure you, if you want to get a voter ID card, if you want to get any of these things done online, very few services you can do online. It doesn't work, no. And what was worse for me, I will just take a minute to digress. I have been religiously voting in all elections in Ahmedabad city. And suddenly I find when I go to, and obviously when we had the last elections, I didn't look at what the information that whether I'm registered or not, because I voted at least 8 times. So, but when I go to the booth, I find my name is missing, but my husband's name, the house is in my name because I am employed with IMA. His name is there, my name is not there. And we both said, he's there because I am there, and can't you allow me to vote? And, and they said, no, nothing doing, you can't vote because your name is not there. So I went to the website, and then I said, let me upload my information. For next election, at least I should be able to vote. Then they said, okay, this is your past voter ID number. And, first of all, I'm supposed to know which ward I am in and all that. Now, how the hell do I know which ward I'm in? Because for income tax, it's a different ward. For voting, it's a different ward. So just imagine if a person like me who is got the best of education finds it such a challenge, what happens to people who do not? So service deliveries, smooth functioning, I've given. And we never do analysis of data from these websites. Why did a citizen start a service and why did they withdraw? What are the challenges they faced? And today you have very simple tools to do this, right? And private companies do it. And Amazon will come back to you and say, we believe you wanted to do this transaction. What stopped you? Please, can you give us feedback? So while we have smart operators, I don't know whether we are helping our citizens to be smart. Why aren't we thinking an open platform for apps? This is how every large company has grown. Google is the dominant, through the Android platform. But what has helped Android to grow is not that technologically it is the best platform. It is the fact that third-party developers can put up their apps and other users find it useful. Why can't governments think of just developing an open platform? Let while some can be mandated applications, but add-ons to those applications, let citizens develop and put them up. So some closing thoughts. Back-end infrastructure, and are we focusing too much on technology in isolation? You know, I was doing a review of telemedicine projects in Kerala. So along, they have this very sophisticated, anybody from Kerala can, you know, kind of vouch for this. They have, through the DITY projects, got very sophisticated telemedicine equipment in each of the district hospitals. In how many district hospitals it was being used? 0. After 2 years. And it was really high end. Why? Because there were many other institutional issues that needed to be addressed. There was no budget for the person to operate it. There was budget for buying it. There was no way to, they could get it repaired when something went wrong, and all those usual culprits. So my question is, do we want to see cities as islands of technology-driven development, or as nodes in a network that drive development? And we are, you know, and this has to be integrated with our rural infrastructure as well, because cities don't exist in isolation. At the boundary of a city is a rural area, and that rural area is also contributing to the economy of the city. To me, the simple thing is, you know, in Ahmedabad, we set up these traffic junctions with timers. Nothing very great electronic or IT about it. But today, for I think 4 or 5 years, they haven't worked, and nobody is concerned about it. How much intelligence we have when we know that 30 seconds I have to wait, I can switch off my engine and just wait. Traffic violations are not computerized, although the motor driving license has this chip. Yeah, where is it being used? This is the biggest scam in our country. You know, we pay for that chip, but cannot be used. It's better to give us laminated cards, you know, for driving license. So this is it. Thank you.
I don't have a presentation, so I'm okay seeing myself in a mirror image there. Um, you know, this is a typical reason why academicians don't get along with the industry guys. I would love to argue on a lot of things ma'am said, but we'll take it offline maybe. um, anyway, I just want to give some examples. I think Dr. Jain put up a very nice framework of what needs to be done, what smart cities look like, should look like, reality, and where we need to go. Let me give you a couple of perspectives. One, as a citizen of Pune, which I think is a pretty decent city to live in. It's a very good city to live in. And also, as a person who's been looking at smart city technologies for the last couple of years, not just in Pune, but worldwide, we're doing a lot of work in that area. And thirdly, as a person who's specifically been involved in taking that technology to Pune and try and work for smart city Pune. So 3 or 4 different reasons why I'm so passionate about this. I talked yesterday in the opening session, and one of the comments I had made was, I think technology today makes everything possible. So every issue ma'am brought up can be solved. I think it comes down to 2 things. One is, do you have the vision to use technology to solve problems? And second, do you have the will to solve the problem? I don't think in India, even money is a problem anymore. You know, there was a time when we used to say, yeah, yes, ab theek hai, in Western countries, we don't have the money. I think we have enough money as a country to do whatever we want. Question is will and a little bit of optimism. So I'll also, on a more personal level, right? Yesterday and the last 2-3 days, if you're on Twitter, people have been really cribbing about the rains have brought Mumbai to its knees. Please understand one thing, Mumbai is a coastal city, and no matter what you do, if the sea rises, there is nothing you can do to take 100 mm of rain and flush it out of the city. There is absolutely zero, no matter how smart you are, no matter what you do. When forest fires screw up America, in California, when forest fires destroy Melbourne, we don't say anything about how the government is corrupt and how we don't know how to do things, because we just say, well, forest fires, kya karenge? We have to evacuate people. If we have to evacuate Mumbai or Pune, we say, illegal constructions, PMC is not doing its job. So I think we need to temper our optimism, our pessimism a little bit. I think that's the only way forward. But that aside, she put up a very nice point about traffic signals and timers and stuff, right? So just look at what a smart city can do with a little bit of help from technology. Most of our traffic signals have a problem that their timings are fixed, and when you have traffic patterns change, you sometimes have an empty traffic signal being green and the road that is backed up, just getting 1/4 of the signal time. How difficult is it to put a bunch of sensors along the roads, figure out how much traffic it is, and then turn the signals? Very doable in technology, very, very doable. But you may say, no, I don't want to put sensors, people steal the sensors or whatever happens, right? Well, you have cameras that can do the same thing. If you don't want to put cameras because you believe that in the rains they don't work, then as simple thing as the way Google finds it traffic, just the fact that people are moving along those roads and you can capture that data in real time from your cell towers, you can. So my point is, there are 3-4 ways of doing the same solution. Technology provides you multiple options, multiple cost options, multiple practical options. Are we willing to do it is the question, and then we just go ahead and do it. Now, is this just about making traffic smoother? Imagine what it could do if you can identify when an ambulance approaches a junction, and just think of a very simple solution. The ambulance drivers are registered, obviously. As the ambulance comes in, my server detects where your ambulance is traveling, and it automatically notifies just the Hawaldar. I don't even need to turn the signals on, but I just need to tell